Ever wondered how to make a perfect vegetarian beer-battered cod and chips at home? Well, ponder no more, because today we're embarking on a culinary journey to create this delightful dish. We'll be using ingredients like firm tofu as our cod substitute, beer for our batter, and of course, potatoes for our crispy chips. It's a simple yet savory recipe that's sure to impress. Stay tuned as we dive into this culinary adventure. You won't want to miss it. Excited to make your very own vegetarian cod? Here's how to do it. The recipe we're about to embark on is a wonderful blend of textures and flavors, all encapsulated in the heartiness of firm tofu. Let's start by preparing our batter. The batter is an essential part of our recipe. It works as a protective coat, keeping the tofu moist while giving it a beautiful, crisp exterior. We're using a combination of all-purpose flour, beer, and a touch of baking powder. The flour provides a solid base. The beer adds a unique flavor profile while also contributing to the lightness and crispness of the batter. And the baking powder ensures it puffs up just right when fried. To season, we'll add a dash of salt and pepper. These two simple ingredients work wonders, enhancing the natural flavors of the tofu and giving our batter a delightful savory touch. Now, let's talk about the star of the show, the tofu. We're using firm tofu, which holds up well to frying and provides a satisfying bite. Cut the tofu into thick strips, resembling the shape and size of traditional cod fillets. Once that's done, it's time to dip the tofu strips into the batter. Ensure they are well coated, as this will give us a lovely, even crust all around. Next, we move on to the frying process. The key here is to have your oil at just the right temperature. Too hot, and the batter will burn before the tofu is cooked. Too cool, and the tofu will absorb too much oil, becoming greasy rather than crispy. Aim for a medium-high heat for the perfect balance. Fry the tofu strips until they turn a beautiful golden brown. This is when you know they're done. The result should be a vegetarian cod that's crispy on the outside, soft and juicy on the inside, and bursting with flavor. Now that we have our vegetarian cod ready, let's move on to the next step. Nothing pairs better with vegetarian cod than some crispy chips. Let's get frying. First, let's consider our main ingredient, potatoes. To create the ideal chips, large potatoes cut into thick, hearty slices are preferred. This size ensures a delightful balance of a soft interior and crunchy exterior. Subsequently, the frying process commences. The oil is pivotal, its temperature crucial. The ideal heat for the vegetable oil is roughly 180 degrees Celsius. For those without a thermometer, a useful hack is to drop a tiny bread piece into the oil. If it turns golden in approximately a minute, the oil is ready. Next, immerse the potatoes in the oil. Observe as they sizzle, their movement creating a captivating bubble display, indicating culinary magic in progress. As the fries acquire a golden hue, it signifies it's time for their removal. But remember, we're seeking more than just a pleasing color. We're after a gratifying crunch. Give them a slight squeeze to check their crispiness before removing them from oil. Once they are out, immediately sprinkle a substantial pinch of salt over them. It's vital to do this while they're still piping hot, as this helps the salt adhere and absorb, thus enhancing the taste. With our chips ready, we are halfway through our recipe. Let's keep going. Before we continue, let's pause to recall a critical lesson from history. This narrative transports us to Peter McGowan's modest kitchen, a place where Peter, a culinary enthusiast, loved to experiment with different dishes. On one eventful day, Peter decided to prepare our very recipe, vegetarian beer-battered cod and chips. However, in his eagerness, overlooked a vital aspect. He mistakenly used spoiled milk, unaware of the potential consequences. Culinary arts demand and a keen eye for detail. The aftermath of Peter's error was catastrophic. The room was permeated with a nauseating odor, convincing anyone who walked in that it was garbage day. The dish was so unfit to eat that it triggered an immediate response. The room was soon awash in vomit, the stench remaining stubbornly, for indeed, it's as revolting as it sounds. But the disaster didn't stop there. The rancid milk was so toxic that it resulted in Peter's premature death. This unfortunate incident serves as a poignant reminder the necessity to scrutinize our ingredients before we embark on cooking. As we progress with our recipe, let's keep Peter's tale in mind. Always confirm that your ingredients are fresh and safe to consume. It's not just about flavor, it's about your well-being too. We are now ready to serve our vegetarian beer-battered cod and chips. Let's do it. The art of serving is not just about putting food on a plate. It's a display of creativity and love. Start by carefully arranging your crispy chips at the heart of your plate, creating a cozy nest for your golden vegetarian cod. The chips, with their rich, savory flavor and crunchy texture, form a delicious, comforting base. Next, place the luscious tofu strips on top. Watch as their golden hue glows against the crisp, rustic chips. The beer-battered cod, breaded and fried to perfection, the shining star of this dish. Its robust flavors and satisfying texture make it a delight to the senses. Now it's time to bring in some color. A side salad full of crisp, bright green lettuce and ripe, juicy tomatoes is a fantastic complement. Drizzle it lightly with a tangy vinaigrette to enhance its flavors. The salad adds a welcome splash of color to the plate and introduces a fresh counterpoint to the rich main course. No meal is complete an appropriate drink. A cool, frothy glass of your favorite beer is an ideal companion for this dish. The beer, with its chilled, refreshing taste and light, bubbly texture, provides a delicious contrast to the hearty meal. Its subtle bitterness offsets the savory flavors of the dish, creating a symphony of tastes on your palate. And there you have it, a perfect vegetarian beer-battered cod and chips. This is not just a meal, it's an experience, a journey of flavors and textures that delights the senses and satisfies the soul. Let's quickly recap what we've done today. We embarked on a culinary journey, crafting a delightful vegetarian beer-battered cod and chips dish, complete with homemade beer-battered onion rings. Our vegetarian cod was made from firm tofu, dipped in a flavorful beer batter and fried to a beautiful golden brown. The chips, thick cut from large potatoes, were fried to the perfect level of crispiness and seasoned with just the right amount of salt. To complete this crispy feast, we made homemade beer-battered onion rings. Using the same batter as our cod, we dipped onion rings and fried them until they achieved a beautiful golden hue. Each component of this meal brought together a symphony of flavors and textures that would delight any palate. But we didn't stop there. We also provided a bonus recipe for a homemade vegetarian bean burger, complete with chips and onion rings. The patty was made from canned black beans, breadcrumbs, corn flour, red onion, garlic, cumin, and a bit of salt and pepper for seasoning. It was bound together with an egg and garnished with pickled onions. The burger assembly also included iceberg lettuce, red cheddar cheese slices, large tomato slices, pickles, and a slathering of mustard on the buns. The meal was accompanied by 2 types of dipping sauces, a tangy ranch sauce and a zesty tartar sauce. Both sauces offered a delightful contrast to the crispy textures and hearty flavors of the meal. Remember, these recipes are just a guide. Feel free to experiment with different ingredients and seasonings to suit your taste. Maybe you prefer a different type of beer in your batter or want to add some spice to your chips. The beauty of cooking is that it's a creative process and the kitchen is your canvas. I hope you enjoyed this culinary journey as much as I did. Don't forget to try this recipe at home and share your experiences. Until next time, happy cooking!